Back in January, Wuhan, China, a city with approximately 11 million people, appeared to be a ghost town. The city is where the first cases of COVID-19 emerged, and was also the first city to lock down following the pandemic. It appears the precautions, although incredibly extreme, worked, as videos and photos of a pool party attended by thousands at a music festival started going viral. As you can imagine, there have been different opinions of what people have seen, from some thinking it's great that Wuhan, where this thing seemingly started, is able to go back to a normal way of life, for lack of a better word, while others fear it could lead to another outbreak. I'm going to tell you guys all about it right now in I.O. What's going on, you majestic potatoes? I'm your host for this one, Jared Bronstein, and today we are talking about the biggest flex of 2020. And no, it's not me flexing my arms. Before we get into this one, just a friendly reminder to stick around to see if your comment has been featured. And if you like these types of videos, click right over here, maybe here, down here, somewhere on the screen, because we got a playlist with similar videos that you guys will enjoy. So this past weekend, a video showing tens of thousands of partygoers without masks, in different pools, and floaties around their waists, and half naked emerged online. And when I tell you guys this party was more lit than me and my bar mitzvah, let me tell ya, they were getting buck wild. And at 13, I went pretty hard. Anyways, to no surprise, some people were very concerned to see such a large gathering, especially given that the pandemic is still very much so happening, and some countries are still struggling to get a hold on the spread. But Wuhan appeared to do what they had to do, ensuring that the spread would not only stop, but that the country altogether won't be affected by the pandemic. On January 23rd, a full lockdown went into effect, which literally meant the city was cut off from the rest of China. The streets were empty, the city started testing tens of thousands of people, discouraged any kind of gathering, and of course had citizens quarantine. As March rolled around and the city saw a decline in cases, restrictions started to ease up, but the city was still locked down. On April 8th, the lockdown was officially lifted, but as you can imagine, people were not rushing back to have huge parties and attend music festivals. On May 12th, there were 6 new cases, which led to city officials trying to form a plan to test all 11 million citizens of the city. They would end up testing somewhere around 10 million of them, although some sources say 9.9 million, and it appears the new cases in May were just a small blip. The city managed to stop a second wave as of this recording, and by July, life in Wuhan started to go back to normal. The images captured here are from the Hoha Water Electrical Musical Festival at the Wuhan Maya Beach Water Park, and as you can see, there were tens of thousands of people side by side in very close proximity, just living their best lives. The park opened on June 25th, but it seems people didn't really start attending until August. In an attempt to boost numbers, the park is offering half off to female visitors, as they claim the 15,000 daily mark they hit is half of what they're used to getting. Some sources claim they're giving half off to all tourists, while others said female tourists. Can't be sure. It's important to mention the city hasn't had a local case of the virus since mid-May, so as crazy as it may seem that they're all partying together, it looks as though the place where it all started were the quickest to stop it as well. Still, this could be a huge risk of a second wave, not from a local transmission, but from the outside. Sanjaya Senanayake, an associate professor in infectious diseases at the Australian National University, told the BBC, I quote, "The problem is we haven't eradicated COVID-19, and what that means is that as long as it's not eradicated, there's still the risk of having it introduced, whether from overseas or elsewhere." A good example of this could be New Zealand, as Sanjaya pointed out, who didn't have a locally transmitted case for more than 3 months, but are now dealing with what appears to be a second wave, likely from international travel. I quote him saying, "A study from London came out suggesting that about 10 to 20% of people with COVID-19 are responsible for about 80% of cases. So if you're putting large groups of people together, you really have to be careful. Even if one person has the virus, you're in for some rough times." For the sake of the world and everyone that attended the event, I certainly hope we don't hear that anyone from the event tests positive or comes down with an illness over the next few days. However, given that night markets, cinemas, and large gatherings among other activities have been allowed since June, it seems if there was going to be another spike, it likely would have happened by now. Still, as I said before, just because the city has a handle on it, the world doesn't, so it is quite possible that the virus emerges again due to outside forces. Hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully we'll all be partying like this in the near future, although I'm not so sure that's a realistic thought. As you can imagine, some people were displeased to see this, with fears that regardless of how well an area is handling it, a large gathering like this during a pandemic still isn't necessary. Others are excited to see that eventually it appears life will go back to normal, but given the way certain countries are handling the virus, I wouldn't plan on it anytime soon. Some went as far as claiming this could be propaganda and almost a slap in the face, if you will, to the United States, who have had a confirmed 5.5 million cases total. One guy even asked if this whole thing was done through CGI. So, now as always guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Do you think what they did was wrong, or should they have every reason to celebrate? Let me know what you guys think. For now, let's reply to some comments from the video, top 10 craziest facts about Dan Bilzerian you won't believe. Sin Venus said, one word, narcissist. Alright, are you talking about me? Okay. Cleo Flowers said, cringiest human alive. Is that also aimed at me? Like I can't? Alright, Sarah Hilton said, I'm sorry, I don't know who this guy is. Now you're definitely talking about me. No, guys, Johnny was in that video. Obviously, you guys are talking about Dan Bilzerian, but I just saw all these comments and I was like, it's too easy to set it up that you guys are just chirping me. So I love the chirps. I'm all about self-deprecating humor. If you guys couldn't tell by now, I'm always the butt of the joke because look at me. I'm an face. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I've been your host, Jared Bronstein. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we'll see you soon. Bro, I actually don't know why I slapped my arm in that central. It actually hurts so much. Like dude, I slapped it like it's still tender to touch. It's like I slapped it hard, man. It's what I do for the people. Okay, I'm gonna need help with this name because I was trying to say it. Sanjaya, it would be Senanayake. Senanayake? Does that sound right? Sanjaya Senanayake?
Senanayake. Maybe
Senanayak? Senanayak.
Maybe Yaki? Senanayake.
Like I have no idea.
Yeah, I'll probably go with that. Senanayake.
Sanjaya Senanayake?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.